Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of ES Futures Trading, the closing for April 28th. After the opening that we have during this week, you know, one of the main observations, or I guess the main question, or the only question that we had after yesterday's opening, or today's opening, that was yesterday, right? Was where this market was going to open relative relative to where it opened over the weekend. Now we were talking about the gap we have here, right? The fact that the overnight traded through the gap into this day, right? It doesn't close the gap. The gap is still open, right? It is showing some sign of strength that it's not touching the gap actually, right? But the weakness of this kind of dynamics comes from something else. I'm going to just talk a little bit about that. I guess you already know what I'm going to say. We have this pivot level from yesterday. Okay? You can check the stream and you'll see that we leave two pivots. One the upper side, which was this one, and the other one on the lower side, which was this one here. What this one up here? Just because it was POCU, right? There was kind of like a lot of trade, somewhat. It was a level here in which volume came at the close, right? And as the market opened, right, just check where this high is, right? It is right at POC. And the low of today's profile is exactly at the overnight POC. So both high and low were made mechanically. And it is just telling me that the dominant force, the dominant trading of this market is short-term trading. And something curious, something peculiar here, right? We have this weakness that we had on Friday, constantly buying from this level, right? Weak buyers, laggard buying here. It opened way below, the market opened way below, and traded just enough, right, to remove this area here. But in the process, just check this out. What happened here when the market tried to buy from here? Now they are doing the same, just slightly below that, right? And look at what's happening. It's coming. They are trying to sell. What happened after they sell? Market comes back to this area here. Sell again, comes back again. Sell again, comes back again. Sell again, comes back again. Every single time, right? Every single time there's a sell, the market comes back. Now, and each time they achieve less and less and less. Just check this out, right? Check this Every time we have a higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low here. This is not a good sign for the sellers. Um, Inventory for me is extremely long, but it is just one of those cases that, you know, there is just short-term trading in both sides of the market. And there's no, even though price, the market is at all-time high, it hasn't found yet sellers, right? Or strong sellers. I think we will see some volatility as earnings start to pour. I'm talking about tech, right? I'm talking about tech. But I wouldn't be short in this market anytime soon, even though, right? Even though there is tremendous amount of laggard loans coming into this market and inventory is extremely long. All right. And check this out. This Nasdaq is interesting here. What time is it? 47. Okay. I have 3 minutes, less than 3 minutes. Nasdaq has closed the gap, right? Nasdaq has closed the gap. It remains with two relevant ones, two big ones. Check this profile. Oh, come on. I didn't mean to do that. Right. Right. Look at here, right? Look at what we have here. Right? The same thing that we have in the ES on Friday is what we have there on this day in Nasdaq. But the thing is, the market just can't keep going higher unless until there's a catalytic that can trigger some sort of sell-off here or rebalancing. You know, this is during this day, Thursday, there was an attempt, to do the same thing that happened here. Right? They're trying to do the same. It has some sell-off here, some rebalancing, but the market came back to where it was. Friday, same thing again. Same thing again Friday. And now, even though, again, even though inventory is long, there is very short time frame activity trying to break this market, right? But the participation is it seems to be just short-term traders, not significant or big players here, right? And on top of that, this shape, just look at this, right? This is a 45-degree as well. Market comes back, same thing, right? And this looks even as a V shape here. I have my doubts. I don't have anything here really, all right? But Nasdaq, even though inventory is extremely low, extremely long, and knowing home markets just don't make any sense. Okay, wait a minute. There was a selling here. What this was? It was a buy. All right. I want to say. But the market has been basically value is lower. It looks like, let's come back to ES here. But I thought after this opening today, I open here, I was wondering where it was going to open relative to this opening, right? If probably I thought, right, I was giving bigger odds to the market trying to fill this area here, right? Maybe some back and forth, back and forth, back and forth here. It did have some back and forth, but okay, look at that selling has happened here. But it happened inside Friday's range. Just check the shape of this day and check the shape of this one in Nasdaq, right? Quite the same, but in the opposite direction here. And this is just another sign, another piece of information that highlights uncertainty in this market. Look at these 45-degree lines here in Nasdaq. I could say the same way as I say this is a 45 to the upside, right? There is also firecracker effect here, potential. Firecracker effect potential in these profiles here. What that is just, market hitting the stops that are below here. And as soon as as that happens, the next stops are hit, the next ones, the next ones, the next one, and the next one. And before you know it, the market is just come down all the way down to here, right? I don't expect something significant, something big here, right? It seems that the market is reacting less and less to the news, to the war news, and it's just back to normal, I would say. No, it's back to business as usual. Crude oil 88, gold 48, trying to regain that 5,000, that magical 5,000. There is tremendous amount of buying that is happening this from micro strategy. This is kind of like they found a loop, right? They buy, they use the same, they use the bitcoins that they bought to generate loans, and with that one they buy again, but that cannot last forever. I won't touch this market. I didn't buy Bitcoin when it was 8,000. I won't do it when it is 80,000. Okay, there is less than about 30 seconds before the next one. This was to the upside when it opened. Look what it is now. Let's see what the last five, how the last five are. That can give us a preview, all right, to what might happen tomorrow. As soon as that happens, I'm going to go something else. Okay, here it is. Here it comes. All right, that was a buy. I hope you have seen that. Right now is negative, but it was a buy. That was a buy. That can be very misleading. That was a buy. All right, what I was going to show is, remember these levels, this volume, these orange areas that I have here. Okay, and what happened here, right? Look at this, right? This is Friday. Well, this market has come just to that, right? It didn't even get what I am still observing. I don't have any bias. I think that this market may have some back and forth between these two levels here, between this one here and this one here that comes, I believe, is from, this is Friday, this is Thursday. Okay. Whatever happens, this market may try to take this level, right? I- If it if it attempts to do a couple times and it fails to go through and hold this one, probably the next thing that might happen is might try the opposite side, right? It just bouncing here. It may bounce from this one as well, right? If it doesn't have any downside here and it works as a resistance now, um, we may have another try to the upside here. But this market is, trading or observing this market with eye, with a ear, you know, tied to the news, right? It is like it is like that. I think it's going to be like that until November. I think midterms there may be some change after that. It is just like that, and we were talking about that possibility, since I think August or September last year. All right. This kind of closing is very misleading. When we have some selling in both last five, and just look at what's happening now. This level here seems to be just too far from this area here. These stops that I have here are kind of too far from the 62. From this area when we have a lot of volume. But there is potential here, right? I think it's too late in the session because this movement could actually be all the way up to here. And look at that. Look at what we have here. Look at that, man. There's a tremendous amount of blocks here in this on this day. Wow. Look at this. What? What am I? Ooh. This is to the downside, isn't it? Because it is ask and bit differential. This is positive. This negative actually is to the upside, but these ones are all to the downside. Just check the tremendous amount. Okay, 500, 500, 500, 1,000, 1,000 contracts being bought or sold at once, right? Here as well. The interesting part of this one is this. Is just wanna show you. Come on, man. let me put another time frame here. What period is entire data limiting? Let's put 20 days back. All right. I'm going to go back all the way to what day is this? This will be April 6th, something like that. As far as we can here. April 2, you know. Just check this out. There's a lot of activity here. Oh no, this is the squeeze. 47, 47. Right. During this day, 4741, right? Where is 47? 47 is here. During this day, during this area here, after the market has the breakout here, in here, there's a lot of activity that happens. Right? Heavy participation here, not just short-term traders, but bigger participants here. All right. That decided to come into the market. This could have been a big break here or a big upside. Any of those two, right? Whatever happened from this, that was the trend. It just happened that was to the upside. And what I am noticing as we speak, right now, is how the same kind of activity that happened during those days. I'm going to go to the end of the. I'm going to go to the end All right. I just wanted to show these blocks here, right? That are all over the place between today and Friday. Right? I think there will be some back and forth here. If you check the daily charts, today is an inside day relative to Friday, to the last day. And there can be a compression here. Range may be compressing, and just check this out, right? This is overbought here, but it may, what this may happen, we may have some solid trading here, and this one may come down below this level, right? If that happen, we may see something here, but I got to be very careful here, man. I got to be very careful here. It is, and the reason why I say that, this is a trend to the upside, but it seems like this market needs some sort of rebalancing here before anything. There can be a fake out to the downside or fake out to the upside if a range is formed here. I don't have anything. I just have to have patience for the upcoming days. Maybe 2-3 days before I can see, before we can see anything here, right? There's a big pocket here, right? All these ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, have been taken. You know that 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 is what this trade is here, but it is leaving a big one over here. I'm just one saying, with a lot of single prints here. One area single prints, another one here, another one here. Right now, finally, there's some sideways trading that's happening here. It may do something like that. This market may wanna test this level here. Seems like a 7,020 or 25, something like that. All right. I hope it helps. We got to be very careful. Hope I just can. I don't have nothing else, unfortunately. I'm not paying too much attention to the market now, but if I see anything, I will just let you know, or do a stream. Um, my streams now are. I'm not going to be streaming in the morning because I need to actually see. This is another stage that I am going through now. Okay. All right. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Stay safe. Hope I can see you another day. Bye bye.